Okay, so hi, my name's Ronan Murdock and this is Leaving Their Business. Now today we're going to look at gearing. Now when you're doing gearing, guys, it's really just looking at the debt equity ratio, okay? So remember again, we have 6 ratios overall we need to know. Profitability's got 3 ratios, net profit margin, gross profit margin, return on investment. Liquidity's got 2 ratios, your current ratio, your asset test ratio, and it's the last of the 6 ratios we need to know is our gearing ratio, okay? So, when you're looking at gearing, it's basically just going to be the debt equity ratio. So we start off on this, the best way to do it is just by jumping in and actually just testing yourself in a question on, right? So if you're looking at here, this is the 2014 question 5B, 20 marks, and divide that by 2.5. You know you've got, remember 20 marks divided by 2.5, you've got 8 minutes to do it, okay? And you don't have to be like, don't use that to put yourself in a huge amount of pressure with drilling through it, but just get that, you know, set with time management, okay? So anyway, this is the question, this is the way it's mapped out. So for any of my 60 years at home guys, we're on page 257, and my 50 years guys is on page 57 of the book. Okay, so if you want to pause there, don't mind, if you want to get that set, okay? If not, you just got the full question here anyway, okay? So all you need is this question here and a blank piece of A4 paper, right? So we'll go down through it. They broke this question into 3 parts. Explain the term debt equity ratio, calculate the debt equity ratio 2013, of course show your workings, make sure you spot that, and then discuss the importance of debt equity ratio if they're deciding on new sources of finance. Okay, good. So what they did there, the marking scheme, that was 4 marks, that was 10 marks, that was 6 marks there, okay? So the first thing there, guys, explain the term debt equity ratio. Now, all you need to know, if you know the formula, right, the formula for the debt equity ratio is just debt divided by equity, okay? Now, I'll write the acronyms for it, right, but the formula, it's long-term loans divided by ordinary share capital plus retained earnings, okay? So what it is we look at the debt, the amount of money the business has borrowed versus the amount of money the owners have invested into equity, okay? And this is really, really important in general just for how a company's run. Like, so again, if you're looking at how much money's actually been put into the business, like the debt is money they borrow, they have to pay back, but even though they borrow it, they pay interest on it, and equity is the amount of money the owners have pumped in, okay? So really this is why we bother calculating this, because it shows us like how much debt the company has considering its size, okay? It's very, very hard to gauge. If I said a company's got 10 million in debt, that doesn't, you know, it's very hard for you guys to gauge that compared to how much the owners invested in. So if I said like a company's 10 million in debt, but the owners invested in 100 million of their own money, well then, you know, the business is actually lowly geared, and that's a good thing. So we'll cross that in a minute, but we're just trying to look at that now, like how much debt the company has considering its actual size, okay? So when you're looking at the start, right, the reason I want to bring this in is that they say to find the term debt equity ratio, and you know the formula, you'll be grand, okay? So all it is what you say is the debt equity ratio is an analysis of the capital structure of the business, okay? And don't worry about like firing this definition down. I'll show you it on the board now in 2 seconds. It's over there in a second. We'll get into it in a minute. But first thing is the debt equity ratio is an analysis of the capital structure of the business. It shows us what proportion of capital, don't worry about the word capital, it's just a fancy word for money, right? It shows what proportion of capital is made up from long-term loans, and also what proportion of capital is made up from ordinary shares and retained earnings. So basically what they're trying to do there is just trying to say like, right, considering the amount of money that's been invested into the company, how much of it has been borrowed versus how much the owners have paid back. And that's what we do in order to find out the debt equity ratio, okay? So we'll jump over here, we'll have a quick look at the definition. It's an analysis of the capital structure, you see it up there in business, on the definition, analysis of capital structure of business. It shows what proportion of the capital is made up of long-term loans, that's our debt, and what proportion of the capital is made up of reserves and ordinary share capital, that there guys is our equity, okay? And that's what you're doing. Basically, all this, remember again, if you don't panic, if you draw a blank on this and leave insert, and they're like, what's the debt equity ratio? Build your definition around that, just once you know the formula, explain it. It's an analysis of the capital structure of the business, shows how much debt they have, put down what the debt is, versus their equity, and throw down what the equity is, okay? That's the 4 marks in the back, right? Next thing then we do is we look at the actual question for this business, right? So if you guys can follow me over here, there's another little bit of a trick question just to look out for, right? So like, your job now is you go down through these and you're like, right, which one's debt, which one's equity, right? So like, we'll start at the bottom up, because like one little thing they do is see that retained earnings. Look out for it, guys, they can also call retained earnings reserves, all right? So don't be thrown off. You see it or them, guys, that's equity, okay? Remember again, what it is just company, money the business made over the years, they put back into the business, that's our retained earnings. The next thing you see there is long-term loans. Okay, so a loan, that's debt, you have to pay that back. And then we've got issued share capital, okay? So don't worry if you see the word issued shares or equity shares, it's just the amount of shares they've sold, okay? So issued share capital, we have that there, that's equity. Now, this is where students can run into a bit of trouble. They can see authorised share capital. Now, you don't include that in your calculations, right? Authorised share capital is just the amount of shares the business is allowed to sell. You know the word authorised, so you might be authorised to do something, or you are. It's just authorised, you're not allowed to do it, you're not authorised to do it, same thing. It's basically the amount of shares the business is allowed to sell, right? So we don't include that in our calculations, all right? And your job, guys, chip away at the past papers. You'll see it's come up like 3 times so far in the leaves that they've said authorised share capital, and some students will include their calculations. You do that, you don't get the marks, okay? So look, we'll drill into it now. Remember again, we've got our debt, and our 2 bits of equity. So if you follow me over here, we'll put up our debt. That's fine, that's 200 grand. And then we've got our first bit of equity, our issued share capital of 450,000, plus our retained earnings, 150,000. Okay, so now we've got 200,000. Add these up, gives me 600,000. Again, guys, on a calculator, 200 divided by 600 gives you 0.33. Okay, and like the liquidity, the answer you get, you put it to the ratio of 1. Now, what does that actually tell us? Okay, it shows us the amount of debt the business has compared to its equity. So what that does, it shows us, right, for every euro that the owners of the business invest into the company, they borrow 33 cents. All right, this is really good news. Like, if I own this business and I saw this, I'd be like, right, great. That means we're lowly geared, okay? We've a low amount of debt, considered to the amount of money we invest into the business itself. And that's a really good trend for a business. If they're lowly geared, it's good. All right, now, you fire that down. Let's put ourselves in the examiner's position again when they're correcting this in the leaving cert, okay? They want to see the formula done. They want to see the workings done. And they want to see the correct answer done, okay? So you've ticked off all your boxes there. Right, the next thing then, so we can jump down there, we can say like, right, that's that ticked off, that's that ticked off. Right, discuss the importance of debt equity ratio when deciding of new source of finance for Flame Limited. Okay, I went through a little bit quickly, I'll go over it again. Discuss the importance. So why is it so important for this business to have the debt equity ratio if they're thinking of new source of finance? Okay, we'll have a look over here and we'll see what we've actually got, right? So if you're following up here on the board, the first thing we know, let's actually put what it is, what we have. Their debt equity ratio is 0.33 to 1. Now the big thing for this, guys, is they are lowly geared, okay? And that's going to make it easier for them to obtain long-term loans. Okay, so the first thing there, you guys fired there, it's lowly geared. And all you need to say is that, like you say, the owners have invested more money in than what they've borrowed, okay? So that's all it is. If you're just lowly geared, means the owners have invested more money into the business than the amount they've borrowed. And that's what we get then there, guys, is an option for them is going to be to take out a long-term loan. Okay, banks will be willing to lend to them based on the information we have there, because banks will see they're lowly geared. And so long-term loans are an option. If they had really high gearing, they had a huge amount of debt, and they went to the bank looking for more debt, for more finance, banks would be reluctant to lend to them because they'd be concerned because they've already got a huge amount of debt. We know this business, guys, low gearing means they've got low interest to pay back on their loans. And the risk of going bankrupt is going to be much lower the lower your gearing is, okay? That's going to make it easier for them to obtain loans in the future. The second thing then, guys, you see, is let's look at their issued share capital compared to their actual authorised share capital, right? So we know here that their issued share capital is going to be 450,000. That, guys, is the amount of shares they've actually sold. And we compare that to their authorised share capital, which you guys can see in the question, is 90,000. Now, what's that telling us there? Is that saying that they've only sold half of their shares? Okay, so they can further sell another 450,000 euro worth of shares. Look at their authorised share, they're allowed to sell 100,000 euro worth of shares. They've only sold 450,000. So what you guys can say there is you say the business have only issued half of their authorised share capital. So they can sell another 450,000 euro worth of shares, and that's another source of finance. So this business has a lot of options in terms of taking on finance. They can borrow because they're lowly geared, and they also have ordinary shares that they can sell. All right, anyone who wants to go over it there in your own time, the notes, guys. 6th years, you'll see the answer is the marking scheme and the breakdown, all that sort of stuff's on page 278. And 5th years, you'll get that answer on page 78. Okay, thanks a million.